this is everyone's responsibility, because not only the policymakers are responsible for social change. So all of us, as a community living in Europe, we are responsible for addressing any sort of prejudice that occurs in Europe. Of course, different players at different levels have different mechanisms for acting on these forms of racism, of discrimination, of hate that express themselves through messages of intolerance and right-wing extremism. So, for example, the typical policymakers at the European level will try to put new forms of racism and discrimination on the agenda of the European Commission, for example. Grassroots movements, they will voice their concerns and express themselves in a calm, disciplined and at the same time determined manner. Activists should take these causes and make them heard to the public, make them vivid, make them visible and express them. Intellectuals should write books, novels, reports, essays showing how these ideologies prosper and develop throughout Europe. And of course, governments, they have the primary responsibility to protect their citizens and to make sure that people living within the geographical boundaries of the country are also part of the same society. And this means promoting tolerance, explaining what goes on, explaining that we are part of the same society, part of the same community, and that no minority among us has to live with prejudice. Fighting anti-Semitism is the problem of us all. Fighting Islamophobia, fighting Negrophobia, fighting anti-Roma forms of racism is my responsibility, individually, our responsibility as a whole. So, in summary, that's everyone's responsibility, that's a collective responsibility, but each one of us, at his specific level, has a different mechanism, a different contribution to tackling these forms of racism.